And a significant part of FM 96, the history of FM 96. When I started in the 90s, he was the mid-morning show host on FM 96, and he was hosting a talkback show that was called Face to Face, and a very successful show. I think it was groundbreaking at the time. A true professional. When I started, he would, after his show, he would come out and listen to himself and critique himself, and he was quite brutal. A very intelligent guy, very well spoken. Some say gift of the gab. His radio career in the 90s in particular was one that people do remember today, because it's a sign of a good radio personality when decades later people still remember you. So he obviously made an impact in people's lives, and people do remember Tukini Dama as being one of the best radio broadcasters in the country with FM 96, and then moving across to legend.
Similar career pathway for you and Tukini.
Yes.
You both came from the banking industry.
Yes.
If you can share about that.
Oh, look, I made a lot of friends in the bank. I think it was a good period for me to be in the bank during that time of my life, because it gave me discipline. You're having to turn up at 8 and knock off at 5 if you had finished your work. Yeah, so same background. He came from Westpac. I came from ANZ. Our careers sort of tracked the same way for a bit there, because we were both radio personalities on FM 96. I didn't actually become a Legend FM radio personality, but he was under my guidance for a while, he was just, I reckon, quintessentially, he's a radio or a media personality. That was his talent.
Just my final question on him transforming breakfast radio.
Right.
When he moved from, as you said, mid-morning on FM 96
Yes.
to breakfast radio, FM 96 going into a new direction. Quite controversial at the time, and he had to do a lot of show prep with lack of facilities like the internet and social media at the time. If you can share that.
Yeah, look, at the height of his career, Tukini was, he was so good at what he did. He would show prep the heck out of his shows. He would critique himself afterwards. And in fact, even today, when I'm talking to the radio personalities or the media personalities at CFL, I use him as an example of somebody who really took his role on the radio during the height of his career really seriously. Like I mentioned, he would critique himself, he would show prep, he would ask for people's advice on the show, and quite often we were sitting around drinking a bowl of kava, and he would ask, how was the show? And he was very interested to hear people's feedback. Out there in public, when people approached him, he was this great guy, friendly, and used to converse with people. He was a great guy. Tukini, he took over from, I believe, where Mere Loma Loma and Lulu Baksh left off. And it was a 3-person team, anchored by Tukini Dama and Lenora and Gergere Tambua. And they had Raymond Basilala as well as the 3rd person of that breakfast show. So quite a groundbreaking, show, in that it had 3 hosts. At the time, I don't think there was anyone or any radio station that had that, locally anyway. And a fantastic breakfast show until Lenora left, and the breakfast show, other hosts came along, but a lot of people would remember that breakfast show with Tukini Dama, Lenora, and Raymond. Obviously very saddened by the passing of Tukini Dama, a friend to us at CFL, and obviously to a lot of people. He made a big impact in people's lives as well, positive impact. And his energy and his passion lives on at Communications Fiji Limited, not only on the radio station, but in CFL and amongst the whole team.